This is a huge chunk of story we're jumping over.
Which is what?
part?
After Sexy Lady came out and Young Berg was dropping these hits left, right, and center, you went through a shit ton of controversy.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Everybody was, your chain went on tour, like there was all kinds of.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I've never talked about none of this shit that we about to get into. Like this chapter, I was saying for the doc.
That's when we met.
No, I'm gonna get into it with y'all just because I respect the energy. You know what I'm saying? This is some real nigga shit for real.
Yo, the chain was so fire.
So fire.
All right, so look, here's it. Yo, look.
Whose idea was that?
I'm gonna tell you. So look, I was out, you know, I'm kicking it with Jim and all this shit, but I took a liking to my dog Shice Bubs. And Bubsy, you know what I'm saying? He had the Ikey and the Piff, you know what I'm saying? Right. So me and Bubs would be everywhere. Right. And Bubs had like a big dumb chain or whatever. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna take you to my man downtown, show you where. So my man, I didn't even know it was New York gang shit, like the Decepticons. I didn't know
that's why I thought it was fire.
No, I didn't know none of that shit.
My older cousins, you know, they was all into that shit.
I knew none of that shit. But like, he had just showed me like the Transformers shit, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get this shit big as hell, just make it the biggest possible shit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And fucking, we made it. And like one side was one Transformer, the other side was the other shit. Right, yeah. And Bubs put me on that. Shice Bubs the one that took me to go get that chain.
Wow, that's family. Yo. Yeah. How many Deceps walked up to you like, yo?
None. Because I wasn't even in that lane. Like I was like the sexy nigga. I was the sexiest nigga in America. Right. Sexy sexy lady, you know what I'm saying? Like I was straight for the hoes, so it wasn't like I was even around none of that shit. But as far as like how the chain and all that other bullshit happened, so I remember I was signed to Epic and Koch Records was doing my radio promo. Like shout out to them, D and Shadow and all them. They were doing my radio side because Epic was more so a pop label. And it was the era of me, Nipsey Hussle, Sean Kingston, all of us being signed to Epic at that time.
Right.
So fucking, I was the hot nigga at the time. Like, and fucking, they were like, yo, we want you to go to this club, host this club. Wait, even before that. So I'm in LA and I'm headlining the Roxy. And my hype man was a guy that I really revered and respected. He was like a big brother to me or whatever. And we doing the Roxy. He's from Chicago. He was like an OG that I respected. Right. And his cousins or whatever was in the music business or whatever. And like, he kind of like flexed on him at the Roxy. He didn't go get him from the front door at the show. So they had made mention, like he had made mention that he was like, yo, like, y'all keep playing like trick, this, that, and third, because they were his managers, you know what I'm saying? He was a previous artist. I'm gonna say his name, Cap One or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So Cap was my motherfucking, my OG, my big homie, but he just ended up being my hype man, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I looked up to him, he's my big dog, you know what I'm saying? So Tom and Trev, who used to manage Lisa Ray and all these niggas, they was his manager in the Kedar era when he was signed to Motown, they loved that and all the other shit. So I knew them, and we was fucking in LA, and he didn't want to go. He wanted to be an artist too. Like he had humbled himself to be my hype man. I'm sure that him being 10 years or whatever my senior, he didn't want to personally be my hype man. You know what I'm saying? I was his little homie, but he got in where he fit in for the big picture. So I was doing the Roxy, and he didn't want to go get them niggas from the front. Like we was back in the backstage drinking or whatever, but he was in his bag. He had bitches, you know. He didn't want to go get them niggas, so he flashed on them niggas, and he had made mention of like, man, well, you gonna keep flogging on me and Trick and this, that, and third, blah, blah, because they was his manager and they was cousins with Trick. Right. So I didn't know who Trick was, nigga. I'm a 19-year-old, 20-year-old nigga. When he said that to me, I was just like, man, I should sit or whatever. I don't know what the fuck going on. So from there, I was doing Summer Jam in Detroit, and like I was the headliner. And D and Shadow had hit me like, yo, like Trick wants you to come to the club or whatever, but he said it in front of Billy and all of us, because Billy had known about it and my whole team or whatever. And we was like, man, hell no, we ain't going to that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they just said this shit at the Roxy previous. Like, I don't know, it wasn't that far much of a gap. So it was on the radar. So I'm like, hell no, I ain't going to no shit like that, boy. You got all this bullshit going on. So from there, I flew in separately. I don't know, I think I was on a jet or some shit like that. I flew in separately, and like Cap and all my entourage was on a tour bus or whatever. Like it got to the city for us to do Summer Jam. So Cap was
Why did you fly in separate?
I don't know, I was somewhere else.
He was on a superstar shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
superstar shit, come on.
So they was already in the city, and fucking, Cap had hit me like, boy, we got hella hoes, nigga. This I'm with Slim from 112 and blah, 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 blah. Like, this back when Russ Parr had tours and
Russ
this,
Parr
that, all
morning
that.
show
Yeah,
and
like,
all that.
niggas had known each other. It was hella camaraderie for everybody. It was on the Summer Jam show. Plies was on the show. I was on the show. It was just mad different niggas. And fucking, he was like, yo, meet us at the club. I got off the shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was with like U.S. Marshals and shit. Like I had the big boy security. I was with my own thing. So he's like, yo, meet us at the club, blah, blah, blah. So
But it's Detroit.
Yeah, but listen. I don't know
Detroit.
nothing. I'm a kid. This is before all this other shit.
These
Knowing
niggas
anything.
don't got no cops after 9 o'clock, bro.
Bro, listen. So I'm
That's
with
so
my
wild out there, bro.
I'm with my own security. We get there, and I meet them, and I'm like, damn, like I'm pulling out different jewelry. You know how as a artist, you got different sets and shit, but I had on like all purple, so it went with the other side of the town. I'm like, I'm finna go over in and get some hoes or whatever. So we go in the club, and they shouting me out now. Young Berg in the building, bro. I got my security with me, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? And so like, you know, back in that day, I'm like, man, I want my bag, nigga. Y'all niggas getting a free walkthrough. So I'm like, yo, they gonna have to lower some bottles or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is handing me mics while I'm in the club and my song coming on. Like, yo, like they gotta show love. So we went to the back, and like I'm in the back with the club promoter now, and like the little office of the club and shit.
Where's your security?
Right there with us. So I had 2, 3 securities. So we in there, he get on the phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm with Cap at the time, and we all together. He get on the phone, and he like, come back. The nigga like, man, my partner Trick say you ain't getting no play on the bottles. I'm like, your partner? What the fuck? I'm looking at Cap like,
Choose your next
I'm
words
like,
wisely.
we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So we make a beeline out this bitch. We trying to walk out, and then like the club security for the club, all
Surrounded
the niggas
y'all.
that had security on the shirt,
Oh, no, they
surrounded
down.
us, beat me up, beat
They
Cap
down.
up,
They down.
beat my security up, beat all of us up. You know what I'm saying? And like we get to the back, and like I'm holding on to the chain. It's like 3, 4, 5 niggas security beat me up, whatever. I let the chain go. I was just a casualty at war. I was just the face of the operation. They really had beef with my hype man at the time, but what does it matter doing something to him? You know what I'm saying?
Right, when
You
you
gotta
the one.
do it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm totally caught off guard because I ain't know none of that shit was going on. I'm just, bro, at that time I didn't even know what Trick looked like or whatever. Like, nigga, like I'm just a young kid, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I ain't know none of that shit. And that shit happened. And like they like rushed me out the city. I'm like, yo, like I want to go and perform. Like I was fucked up, but I'm like, man, I want to go perform for the fans. They're like, nah, don't do that. Blah blah blah. You can't do that. That got me out the city. And then like I just had to hold that, and it was still my man. So I couldn't go and
He was
say,
still with you.
Yeah, he fucked up with me. He lumped up and beat up with me.
Right.
So I can't say, yo, this nigga really the reason why. You know what I'm saying? To clean my face because he my OG. And I just had to hold that.
Wow.
And that's how that went. And I ain't know nothing about all the shit that went on from there. Like, that's how that went. And I was just the face of the operation, so they got me.
How did the security get beat up?
When you see like 27 niggas in security shirts that's big as hell, I don't know, nigga. I was surrounded by the whole club security. Yes, nigga, that was U.S. Marshals, but they made us take the guns back on the bus when we was walking through the back door. Like, yo, you don't need no guns in here. And it was all type of Detroit police in front of this shit. But niggas was in cahoots with the whole little, the whole move.
Look,
but it was bigger than me, though. You know what I'm saying? It was bigger than me.
Detroit,
Like,
bro.
I ain't know I ain't know what Trick meant to Detroit.
Man.
So I'm just a young nigga that was in a mix of, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a hoe getter. Like I'm out here, like I'm looking for the bitches. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really tapped in with the street life or nothing like that.
Right.
Like I'm just like,
You're doing your music.
I'm pulling
out
up
here.
to headline Summer Jam.
Right.
I'm not thinking about no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No shit in
After
California
that,
now in
that's when
Detroit.
like the no-fly zone thing started becoming real popular after that incident.
No,
but I thought
that's
that
when
was,
they realized Detroit wasn't playing, son.
No,
there was too
nah.
much money coming through their city, and you come on, you drive
They
around.
always felt like
At
artists.
that time,
yeah.
the city looked crazy. And there's all these dudes out there, and they're like, yo, we not getting a piece of none of this shit.
I don't understand that. Can y'all really vibe me with that? Because if y'all don't got no talent out there, and nothing's going on out there, and they're playing music from around the country, and we're flying niggas out here to come get money, what is your issue with the niggas that's coming to get money? Like that.
Oh no, but you missing the underlying story. Listen, my guy.
No, I'm talking about before. No. With your story, I get it.
His
I'm just talking
cousins,
about.
their cousins were trying.
In general,
they set it off.
Not with you, not with you. But Detroit was like that in general. Y'all niggas coming through here, yo, what the fuck? California's like that.
Yeah.
You could be getting money and they like, yo, check in with me, and it's like, yo, bro, like they're booking me out here to come get money out here because I'm doing shit over there.
See, but it's different though. I was not a street rapper. I was the guy for the chicks. That's like fucking, you know what I'm saying, Flow Rider checking in or somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, it wasn't about, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is checking in? Like, I have no ties, you know what I'm saying? And no street niggas.
Right.
Like, I'm supposed to just come in, get off the jet, go to my suite, fuck on some hoes, do the show, and leave. It's not even like a thought of, yo, like, let me tap in with, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit didn't even resonate with me at all. Like, I didn't even know what that meant. That wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to speak to Trick since that happened?
Nah.
Ever? Like,
no.
Okay.
Would you be open to it?
No. I mean, not for what though? Like, it's a history.
It's over.
Yeah, like,
It's dead now.
what do we have to gain from that conversation for me to say, yo,
it really
for him to
wasn't
say,
me.
I know it wasn't really about you. But for me to say, man, I didn't even know who you were. You know what I'm saying? When that happened. I just think in that era, like, I was big. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the beginning of the World Star era and the YouTube era, like, that was the move.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely the move.
That was the move. And I was so big at the time that it was like, that's the move. And I decided to wear such a captivating chain at the time that's like, this is the move.
So were you producing all the records back then too?
Yeah.
Around that same time?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Because what was the feeling when you saw that chain just moving around? Did you feel betrayed?
I don't know, it was a hard pill to swallow because I was living in the house with the guy that was behind everything. I was still living, like, this is my guy. So I didn't know how to feel.
What was he saying? Was he apologizing every day?
Did he offer to get it back?
Yeah, like what was it?
What could he do? He was my hype man. He didn't have the capital. He didn't have the finances to do nothing.
He
I was the
fucked
big
it up.
dog.
That's all. He made a big fucking mistake by not going to the door, and it cost them niggas some shit. He's lucky that he didn't just be like, yo, get the fuck, like, I'm leaving, fuck out of here.
I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. I think that we were all young and we were all trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you was young.
I could commend you for not putting him out there. Because in a situation like that, you kind of be like, damn, I'm getting dragged.
But then again,
they don't even know what it is.
But he wasn't somebody that would pin a headline to. So it'd be different if it was like, no, such and such did this. It was like, he was somebody in my inner circle.
He became known.
He was known before that.
Yeah, but this happens after the fact or whatever. It's based off that.
Wow.
And he switched sides and turned, and when it got dark for me, he went and did diss records on me and did all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, so this shit got even more diabolical and sick after that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just so like I looked up to this nigga. You know what I'm saying? He was the reason why I was talking the way I was talking. Like, his influence on me was symbolic. Like, you know how you got an OG then, like, yo, it was almost a mentor, you know what I'm saying? It was a big brother, like, that was my brother, you know? So I couldn't really imagine, like, saying those things, and when it got traumatic for me, niggas fell back on me, and then it wasn't a good look for him to be around me, but his face was still clean in the same process.
It's Hoffa, trapper turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars, I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work, you heard. Making fiends leave earth, you heard. Got your baby mama thirst, you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf, you heard.